In August, we brought you all a story of a young couple who drowned while on vacation in South Haven. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Terrell Bailey. Since then, there's been renewed push to bring lifeguards back. Next weather meteorologist Amit Badji spoke with local leaders and residents about a proposed solution.
It cuts deep.
Drownings on the Great Lakes for 2022 topped the 100 victims mark. In a previous story, we told you about two of them, Corey Ernster and Emily McDonald, who both drowned in South Haven and heard their parents' grief and determination to stop drownings from happening again.
I'm just heartbroken for both of you.
Your newscast saves one person.
Yeah.
Not that it's going to make up for what we've lost, but yeah, people need to know.
Both Stephen and Lisa said lifeguards would have made the difference, and they hope to see guards on South Haven beaches in the future. South Haven City Manager Kate Hosier told us colored flags on the beaches and signage was enough, and something determined by the City Council.
I would say that it's a little hard to do one size fits all, but there should be common messaging.
But the director of the Great Lakes Surf Rescue Project disagreed.
The flag system is a tool for lifeguards to use and not a replacement for lifeguards. But the state of Michigan and many city beaches got rid of their lifeguards quite some time ago, and they kept the flags, assuming that the flags are going to be enough, and the flags are not. The flags are inadequate.
After that story aired, we went to South Haven to ask residents about the topic of lifeguards.
I don't know if we're somehow not communicating the need for caution. We have a flag system, but that tends not to be across the beach.
Danielle lives near South Beach, where Corey and Emily drowned. She says the inconsistent messaging we found during our first story is a big worry. She says that hearing the city suggest more signage as the solution doesn't sit well with her.
But many of our signs, there's too much information.
Cameron Doherty, another resident of South Haven, has been vocal in support of implementing lifeguards.
Why are lifeguards not surviving the conversation, especially when we keep having the conversation over and over and over again?
One argument against them is the cost of staffing and supporting lifeguards on South Haven public beaches like South Beach, something Cameron says they proposed a solution for.
My partner in beach safety awareness and former director of the lifeguard program in South Haven and I, he put together a proposal right-sized for South Haven's current tourist traffic, the amount of beaches that we have. That proposal that Sean put together, I believe would cost, we're talking about $200,000 a year.
We did the math and found approximately 160 parking spaces at South Beach alone. Current parking is $10 per full day, half as much as parking in downtown Detroit. If parking were increased by $5 per day, the additional revenue would be more than $98,000 from one beach lot if it were full every day. Doubling daily parking to $20 a day would add more than $196,000 from that lot alone remaining full. Of course, not every day is full, but even half full would leave an additional $98,000 in added revenue for just one lot. According to South Haven Visitors Bureau, there are 4 paid lots.
I've gotten lots of feedback from lots of visitors and locals alike that say that they would be fine with a further increase in beach parking fees if that's what it took.
There's not lifeguards here. They can't change the flags fast enough to make a difference.
Sue Chambers lost her grandson Brandon to the waves of South Haven beaches in 2020.
The flags were yellow down there. The flags at the pier were red, but they were way down at flag 12. They came to swim on Sunday before Labor Day, and there was a storm coming, and they didn't know that. It didn't matter. I mean, they were 5-foot waves, and they changed in an instant.
After clinging to a buoy with a friend, her grandson disappeared beneath the waves and never resurfaced. This video, provided by Sue, shows a rescue boat returning to shore with Brandon's body after a week of searching. Since Brandon came back ashore after being pulled from the waves, there have been more than 185 drownings on all of the Great Lakes as a whole. These recent drownings have brought lifeguards back to the conversation in South Haven, but we've discovered resident concern about those making the decisions in the case of beaches and beach safety. After Corey and Emily drowned, a Facebook group in South Haven posted condolences for their families. This Facebook comment sent to us by a resident of South Haven, shows Clark Gruber, a member of the South Haven Planning Commission board, calling it, quote, the Darwin family vacation. We sent requests for comment about lifeguards and beach safety decisions to every city council member and to the mayor, but were denied at each request, telling us we should direct our request to the South Haven city manager, Kate Hosier. We asked for comment from Clark Gruber and were told again that all city comment has to come from Ms. Hosier. In fact, all further requests for comment or clarification have been denied or redirected to Ms. Hosier. We've reached out once more to the city of South Haven and Ms. Hosier for a response and have yet to hear back.
We have decades of history showing that lifeguarding works in South Haven. So why would we not re-explore that?
We have to take care of those people that we're inviting to our town, because those are the ones that are drowning. How do you value a life? We've lost 4 lives this summer. I can't place a value on that.